Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Gemology for Schmucks. My name is Peter Nelson, and I'm here to guide you in everything you need to know about gemstones. It's been about 6 months since I last put out an episode, and some of you wonder people have sent me emails saying, "Where did you go?" Which is a totally reasonable question. But among those wonderful and reasonable questions, there were many other questions, and some of them are quite difficult to answer. And a lot of them were not about the scientific evaluation of gemstones, such as what we've been doing on this channel. The thread that runs through many of those emails is actually, what is the value of my gemstone? Can you tell me what this is and what it's worth? And the truth is, that's not an easy question to answer. But good news for you is that on this channel, I'm planning to pivot from the scientific evaluation of gemstones more towards how do we evaluate gemstones? How do we understand where my gemstone is in the pecking order among other similar gemstones? Once you understand those points, regardless of where you go, regardless of what happens to money, or whether we're doing business in gold or crypto or trading goats, you will have an idea of how to evaluate your gemstone in the pecking order. So click subscribe if you haven't already. But first, why have I been living under a rock for the past 6 months? I have also been working on my jewelry skills. Here I am in a place that you may not recognize, and I'm actually right here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, in the same place that my jewelry adventure began 4 years ago. Lucy Walker's Jewelry Academy is where I began to understand and started practicing the fundamentals of hand fabrication of jewelry, starting with basic components like wire and sheet. She taught us how to use hand tools, how to formulate our ideas, how to solder, and eventually how to set stones as well. So using what she taught me 4 years ago, I've been building on that in the time since. During the COVID-19 epidemic and the lockdown that followed in many parts of the world, I chose to invest my time in practicing engraving. I bought the video course by Jason Marchiafava, The Art of Ornamental Hand Engraving, and I've been practicing hand push engraving, the old school way, for the past 2+ years. And then I will tell you about the collection of gemstones that I've been curating. In subsequent episodes, we will start talking about the value points of those gemstones so that you can get an idea of how I evaluate and collect gemstones so that I will have long-term value, whether I am selling the gemstone loose to my clients or putting it in my own jewelry. Because I prefer not to buy trinkets. I prefer to buy things that I know are objectively rare compared to other gemstones in the market and that I expect to either keep their value or improve in value. At the end of the day, I know that's why many of you are on this channel, because that's the basic content of many of your questions and many of the comments that you give me. So from the earliest days with Lucy, we learned about hand fabrication, and I really got bitten by the bug. I don't want to do anything else aside from make jewelry, curate the stones to put in that jewelry, and also to tell the stories of how does my inspiration come along? Where are the places that I go to acquire those stones? And how does the piece come together? What do I learn along the way? So I will also be opening another YouTube channel over here, focusing on the stories of my development as a jeweler. Here we are almost 4 years in, and I have not publicly made people aware of what I've been learning, and nor have I made things publicly for sale. You ever hear about imposter syndrome? Well, I'm at the top. But I did. I kept pushing, and this is where I am now. I'm finally at a point where I've told myself, you need to stop hiding. People need to see what you can do. And I'm not stopping here. As they say, it's further up and farther in. Those of you who are like me, who are setting out on a journey to make something that you have in your mind, I would definitely encourage you to check out Lucy Walker's Metalsmith Academy. It's an entirely online course. It has videos that walk you through the entire process, building block by block, bite size by bite size, so that you can go from a minimal amount of effort and a minimal amount of tools, very importantly, especially if you're tight on a budget, to get to where you want to go. Once you build those skills, you can go to higher skills. There's no need for you to go anywhere. You can do this from the comfort of your home. So definitely check out Lucy Walker's Metalsmith Academy if you have an interest in hand skills. Shortly here, I will be talking about the first items I will be making publicly available for sale in 4 years. So keep your eyes peeled. This channel, Gemology for Schmucks, will continue, and I will be talking about the gemstones that I use on that channel. How do we evaluate them? Where do those stones fit in the pecking order, and how can you go about collecting them? So whether you buy those stones loose from me, or whether you buy them in the gem market, or you buy them on the internet if you are so brave, then you will have an idea of what you are looking for and how to evaluate those stones. In these videos, I will be giving you my prices, but it's very important to look at the timestamp of the video because prices change. As I said before, the value of a gemstone is based on the value of other gemstones. The price will change depending on what happens with money. Have we seen inflation lately? So let that be a feature of confidence for you, because once you understand how the value is placed, you don't have to worry about your value disappearing with the value of other currencies, no matter how stable or volatile they may be. And as an added benefit, you don't necessarily have to go and explain all these value points to other people. The videos that I make here will serve as a benchmark for people to understand the points of value for gemstones worldwide. Anybody who speaks English and spends the time to understand these videos will be able to trade with you. So as the beginning of the conversation in the value of gemstones, what I want to tell you is that the stones that I curate are curated like this. The first thing that we need to focus on is one specific gem material. If we're comparing diamonds and rubies, how can you possibly compare those two? They don't have the same characteristics, they don't have the same colors, they don't have the same rarity. So we must focus on one type of gemstone. After that, we focus on color. Inside of ruby, for example, there are many different types of red, some that are more pink, some that are more orange. How intense it is, how dark is it? These are all factors that change the price a lot. And then finally, we need to focus on one specific size. Even before we get into clarity conversation, we need to start with these three basic things. A ruby of a certain quality that is 1 carat is going to be in a very different price point from something that is 2, 3, 4, or 5 carats, because those qualities, as they get into larger stones, are much more difficult to preserve in a larger stone. It's rarer in nature. Maybe you have a mediocre 3-carat stone, but you can cut out a very nice 1-carat stone from that material. But if you have a 3-carat stone that is exceptional and the same quality as that 1 carat, naturally this is going to be rarer as a 3-carat, with all the other characteristics being the same. So the price can expect it to be magnified. So I go around looking for one type of gem material in one color in one size, and then I start to add in clarity. I personally love spessartite. That's a video I'll be releasing very shortly here, and I will talk about those value characteristics. The colors are essentially restricted to orange, but there are still varieties of orange. So I focus on the 2 to 5 carat size, which is somewhat reasonable inside of spessartite. There's not so drastic of a change of price in between that size range compared to with ruby. Every ½ carat starts to change the price. So once I know that I've got the right size, the right color, then I add in clarity. That's what makes spessartite very collectible. But I'll talk about those details in the next video. So things to keep your eye out for in this channel in the very near future are going to be spessartite, star ruby, and star sapphire, and interesting varieties of spinel. These are some of the things that I collect regularly because I believe in them. I think there's room for people to deal, and I think it's also at an approachable price point for most people. It's a very democratic range of stones. So if you want to understand the qualities of those stones, their value points, and also the prices that I can offer you, then keep your eyes peeled because they are coming very soon. Otherwise, you can send me an email at thegemshepherd@gmail.com. You can read blogs at gemshepherd.com. Otherwise, leave me a comment down below, hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Tell all your friends about me, and until next time, bye-bye.